ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਨਾ ਨਾਹਿਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਕੈ ਅੰਚਲ ਲਾਭਹੁ ਬਿਖਮ ਨਦੀ ਜਾਇ ਤਰਣੀ ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਜੋਰ ਮੈਂ ਗੂੰਗਾ ਕਹਤਾ ਹੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਰਣ
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਸੋ ਦਰ ਕੇਹਾ ਸੋ ਘਰ ਕੇਹਾ ਜਿਤ ਬਹਿ ਸਰਬ ਸਮਾਲੇ ਵਾਜੇ ਨਾਦ ਅਨੇਕ ਅਸੰਖਾ ਕੀਤੇ ਵਾਵਨ ਹਾਰੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਰਾਗ ਪਰੀਸਿਓ ਕਹੀਹਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਾਵਨ ਹਾਰੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਤੁਹਨੋ ਪਉਣ ਪਾਣੀ ਬੈ ਸੰਤਰ ਗਾਵੈ ਰਾਜਾ ਧਰਮ ਦੁਆਰੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਚਿਤ ਗੁਪਤ ਲਿਖ ਜਾਣਹਿ ਲਿਖ ਲਿਖ ਧਰਮ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਈਸਰ ਬਰਮਾ ਦੇਵੀ ਸੋਹਨ ਸਦਾ ਸਵਾਰੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਇੰਦ ਇਦਾਸਨ ਬੈਠੇ ਦੇਵਤਿਆ ਦਰ ਨਾਲੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਸਿੱਧ ਸਮਾਧੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਗਾਵਨ ਸਾਧ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਗਾਵਨ ਜਤੀ ਸਤੀ ਸੰਤੋਖੀ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਵੀਰ ਕਰਾਰੇ ਗਾਵਨ ਪੰਡਤ ਪੜਨ ਰਖੀਸੁਰ ਜੁਗ ਜੁਗ ਵੇਦਾ ਨਾਲੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਮੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਮਨ ਮੋਹਨ ਸੁਰਗਾ ਮਛ ਪਿਆਲੇ ਗਾਵਨ ਰਤਨ ਉਪਾਏ ਤੇਰੇ 68 ਤੀਰਥ ਨਾਲੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਜੋਧ ਮਹਾਬਲ ਸੂਰਾ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਖਾਣੀ ਚਾਰੇ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਖੰਡ ਮੰਡਲ ਵਰ ਭੰਡਾ ਕਰ ਕਰ ਰੱਖੇ ਧਾਰੇ ਸਈ ਤੁਧਨੋ ਗਾਵਹਿ ਜੋ ਤੁਧ ਭਾਵਨ ਰਤੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਗਤ ਰਸਾਲੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਾਵਨ ਸੇ ਮੈਂ ਚਿਤ ਨਾ ਆਵਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਿਆ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਸੋਈ ਸੋਈ ਸਦਾ ਸਚ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਚਾ ਸਾਚੀ ਨਾਈ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਹੋਸੀ ਜਾਏ ਨਾ ਜਾਸੀ ਰਚਨਾ ਜਿਨ ਰਚਾਈ ਰੰਗੀ ਰੰਗੀ ਭਾਤੀ ਕਰ ਕਰ ਜਿਨਸੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਜਿਨ ਉਪਾਈ ਕਰ ਕਰ ਵੇਖੈ ਕੀਤਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਵ ਤਿਸ ਦੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਜੋ ਤਿਸ ਭਾਵੈ ਸੋਈ ਕਰਸੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਾਈ ਸੋ ਪਾਤ ਸਾਹੋ ਸਾਹਾ ਪਾਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਨਕ ਰਹਿਨ ਰਜਾਈ ਸੋ ਦਰ ਕੇਹਾ ਸੋ ਘਰ ਕੇਹਾ ਜਿਤ ਬਹਿ ਸਰਬ ਸਮਾਲੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਪਤਿਤ ਪਾਵਨ ਭਗਤ ਵਛਲ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦੇ ਖਜ਼ਾਨੇ ਜੋਤ ਰੂਪ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਸਾਜੀ ਨਵਾਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, we're again blessed to be gathered to continue learning the teachings from Sri Japji Sahib, the Amritmay Bani that is going to lead us to oneness with Akal Purkh Vaheguru, God who is the giver, the organizer and the deliverer of ourselves back into themselves. The Siddhs have continued their discussions. Last time the Siddhs asked Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji about Vaheguru Sahib Ji's characteristics, qualities, guns and their trades, their vapars. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji explained to the Siddhs and taught us about the pricelessness of Dhan Akal Purkh Vaheguru Sahib Ji's virtues, guns and their Gursikh's guns. The Siddhs continue this week asking about the door, the doorway, the dar, the doorway to Akal Purkh Vaheguru, asking Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji to describe that. And then also the kar, the house of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, and asking Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji to describe that. Which is the door we have to go through to get to the house of the true Lord? The Siddhs continue asking questions, and Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, through answering them, is giving us a teaching for this time and age.
Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji, so dar keha, so kar keha, jit bahai sarb samale.
Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, this Shabad of Sodar. There are 3 different versions of this Shabad in Dhan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. This is the first version or the first form of this Shabad contained in Sri Japji Sahib. The second form or the second version of this Pauri of this Shabad is contained in Rehra Sahib Ji, the evening prayer of the Gursikh. And the third form, the third version of this Shabad, this Pauri, is contained in Rag Asa. Why the 3 versions? Because each version is slightly different. The arth, the meanings, the deeper meanings are the same, but through Guru Sahib Ji's kala, through their hukam, the Shabad, the Pauris, the Panktiyan within this Shabad in those 3 different places are slightly different. For example, at the end of this Shabad in Sri Japji Sahib, we read, So Pat Saho Saha Pat Sahib Nanak Rehan Rajai. And in Rehra Sahib, we read, So Pat Saho Saha Pat Sahib. So Pat Sahib in Japji Sahib, Pat Sahib in Rehra Sahib. And then Asarag changes again in different places. When we read this Gurbani in the 3 different places, we read as it is written in that place. And that is the Mauj, the Hukam, the command of Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, who has recited all 3 versions. It's their Hukam, their way, their Mauj, that they slightly change some of the words, some of the Panktiyan in the 3 versions. So why the 3 versions? This Pauri that we hear in Sri Japji Sahib, the Sodar Shabad here, was the first time that Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji gave us this Bani, gave us this message. And they give this message, as we know, in Sri Japji Sahib. Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is having a discussion with the Siddhs. The Siddhs are asking Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji questions. They are asking questions to try to lead Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji astray, to try to get them to muddle themselves up, to confuse them, to catch them out, so they can try and persuade Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji to join their way, their path, the path of the Siddhs, because they see that Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is very knowledgeable. They are special. Why are they so special? Because they are the embodiment of Akal Purkh Vaheguru on this earth. Vaheguru, the true Lord, came down themselves to save their creation. So this is the first version. Now, when the Siddhs met Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they didn't just meet them once. And Sri Japji Sahib isn't one meeting, constant question and answer. We've heard at the start of Sri Japji Sahib that the Siddhs met Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji on many occasions, and on each occasion they would ask questions. They started meeting Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji when Guru Sahib Ji was of a young age, of a very young age, of a childlike age. And they continued meeting Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji until their bodily age, let's say, was of an old person. Because the Siddhs had been living for over 100, 200 years. They had learned, or they were the masters of yoga, and they had learned how to control their breath, their breathing, and they would go into samadhis. They would go into take their breathing into their dasam dwar and hold their breathing many, many years, and then bring it back down when they wanted to come into this world. A practice which has been looked down upon in Gursikhi, because Gursikhi, Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji teaches a Gristi Jivan, a Jivan of living in the world, living within the Maya and being Bairagi, being Udasi, longing for Vaheguru within the Maya, within his creation. So that practice is looked down upon. We have to live in the hukam and live whatever life we have been given. So we don't purposefully take our breaths into our dasam dwar and elongate our lifespan in terms of years, although we are not elongating our lifespan in terms of the number of breaths, because that is what we have come down with, the number of breaths. So anyway, so this first version of this Sodar Shabd is in Sri Japji Sahib, as we are hearing now, when Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji was of a child age in terms of their body. The second time Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji recited this Sodar Shabd in a slight variation form is in Sri Rahera Sahib Ji, and that is when Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji went into the river, and they were away for 3 days, when everybody but Bibi Nanaki, Tan Bibi Nanaki Ji, the sister of Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and only she had bharosa, had trust, had faith that Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji had not left this world. Everybody else had thought they'd left the world because they'd vanished after going down for their Amrita Villa Ishnan in the river. And while Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji went for that Ishnan, they actually went into that realm, the realm of Sachkhand, that place of Sachkhand. We can only imagine that place and only try to describe it. We've heard in many of the teachings in Sri Japji Sahib that anybody who tries to describe does not find an end. They cannot describe, because only a person who is one with Vaheguru, who has been there, can describe. So when Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji went to Sachkhand, went to the door, went through the gate, went to the house, or went Sanmukh, as we say, of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, then there Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji recited the second version of the Sodar Shabd, the version we read in Rahera Sahib Ji. And then when Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji came back, or they came back out of the river after 3 days, and the first teachings they gave, na ko Hindu, na ko Musliman, to show that creation is one, and they try to give the way of the truth that had been lost over the ages. Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji was then asked by Bibi Nanaki to describe the door, the house of where Akal Purkh Vaheguru resides. And that is the third version of this Shabd, is the description of the doorway, the house, the place where Akal Purkh Vaheguru resides, and that version is in Asarag. So they are the three versions of this Sodar Shabd. The meanings and the deeper meanings are the same, but through the Mauj, the Hukam, the way of Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they have slightly changed the words, but we are going to take the teachings from this first version, the version contained in Sri Japji Sahib.
Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji, so dar keha, so kar keha, jit beh sarb samale.
The Siddhs are so dar keha. How is that door? Dar is a door. Kar can be translated to a house. Okay, in simple terms. So dar keha. How is that door? What is that door like? Where is that door? So kar keha. How is the house, the place where Akal Purkh Vaheguru Sahib Ji resides? Jit beh sarb samale. Where Sarb, the all grateful Vaheguru Samale looks after his creation. How do you get to that door? Where is that door? Where is that house? And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji's first reply is in fact so dar keha, so kar keha. So keha now is being described as kidna. How can I? How can I describe the doorway to Vaheguru? How can I describe so kar keha, the place, the house where the Lord resides? Jit beh sarv samale. Where the Lord resides, looking after all his creation, taking care of his creation. And the Siddhs asked again, you are very knowledgeable, young Nanak, Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Please tell us the way to get to that door. Please tell us how to go through the door and how to reach the house of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. And Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji replies, so dar keha, the house, so dar, the doorway to Vaheguru is the Saad sangat, the sanctuary of the Gursikhs. In the sanctuary, the sangat of the Gursikhs in the sanctuary of Dhan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So that is the teaching we're taking away. The doorway to reach or to go through, so we can walk on that path, so we can go enter the house, enter that place where Akal Purkh Vaheguru Sahib Ji resides. That door is the Saad sangat. Because through the Saad sangat, we repeat the name of the Lord. We leave our bad actions. We learn in the Saad sangat. We learn from the Saad sangat. And we develop. So the doorway to go through is the Saad sangat. Until you come to the Saad sangat, we haven't been through that door. We haven't stepped through the door. We haven't tried to change. Because coming into the Saad sangat, one, in simple terms, when we recite the name, when we repeat the name, in fact, we are repeating the name many times because everybody in the Saad sangat repeats the name, and so you are, as well as repeating the name yourself, repeating the Shabad, you are listening to everybody else repeat the name, and so everybody collectively is repeating the name so many times. So that's how we change. We are doing more repetitions in that time than we would if we were by ourselves. Then we will learn from the Saad sangat, because there are great Gursikhs in the Saad sangat. They are very humble. They have true faith. They have compassion. They are truthful. And we learn these good qualities, these guns from the Saad sangat. We learn the teachings of Dhan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in the Saad sangat. As we hear, Ek Sikh, Doi Saad Sang, Bhai Gurdas Sahib Ji tells us. So even two Gursikhs getting together is Saad sangat. Even if you are by yourself in the sanctuary of Dhan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, in the Hajuri of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you are in the Saad sangat. And that is the doorway. That is the door we have to go through. And we go through that door, and then we reach the house. The house or the place we say is Sachkhand, because we start developing spiritually. So kar keha. So that place is Sachkhand, where we are going. And Sachkhand we are going, we can describe that as a place, like we go somewhere. But Sachkhand may well be a physical place, but it is also a spiritual place. It is the spiritual path through listening, then believing, then acting and following the teachings until we become one with Vaheguru. And we can become one with Vaheguru while we are living in this world, while we are living in his creation of Maya. and that is his place. Because spiritually we are one, and that is the house, that is the place where Akal Purkh Vaheguru Sahib Ji resides. Jit Beh Sarb Samale, his Sarb, all his creation, where he looks after all his creation by giving, organizing, and delivering them, all his creation, back into themselves when they break them free from the 84 lakh June, because the Gursikh, or the creation, has come to the door through the Saad sangat. They have learnt the true message. They have taken Khandi di Pahal from the Panj Pyare, the form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru now, and then they reach that house where Akal Purkh Vaheguru Sahib Ji resides, because they are one. They have broken free from the 8.4 million lives.
ਵਾਜੇ ਨਾਦ ਅਨੇਕ ਅਸੰਖਾ ਕੀਤੇ ਵਾਵਨਹਾਰੇ.
So the Sikhs continue to ask, as you go through that door, as you reach Sachkhand, as you go to that place, what is happening? Who sings the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru? What is going on there? Are there people singing praises? And Guru Sahib Ji continues to answer the Siddhs. Vaje Naad Anek Asankha. Naad means sound. So here we can translate to that musical instruments. Vaje Naad. So Naad is sound. Vaje are the musical instruments. Anek Asankha. Anek meaning countless. Asankha meaning infinite. So there are many musical instruments playing. If you imagine when a king comes to his court, in the olden times, even in these days, when a king is coming to his court, when a king comes outside to his throne, the pipers blow their pipes. Music is played. Not music that we are to dance to, but sounds are played to show that the king is coming. And even now, the King of Kings, Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, when they come, or when you're going to their place, when Guru Sahib Ji now is describing the way, the place of Sachkhand, musical instruments are playing themselves. Sounds are being played to respect, to praise the true Lord, the King of Kings. Countless number of those are being played. Kete Vavana Hare. Kete meaning countless, again, numerous players. So those musicians who are playing those instruments, there's numerous number of those who are playing the infinite instruments, showing the sounds, showing that respect to Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
Kete Rag Parisyo Kahiyan, Kete Gavan Hari.
Kete Rag Parisyo Kahiyan. Kahiyan is being said, is being sung. Kete, a number. Rag Parisyo. Rag meaning the rag, the mood, the way the music is being sung, the sound, the sangeet. Pari and syo. What does that mean in this case? Pari and syo. Pari can mean wife, because rags are masculine and feminine, and they are said to have children. In other words, they come into a family of rags. So, kete rag pari syo kahiyan. Numerous number of rags, their wives and their children are singing.
Kete Gavan Hari.
Numerous number of these are singing the praises of the Lord. Now how can the rag sing the praises? Well, at the end of Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the last Bani in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is Ragmala. Now the Uthanaka, the Sakhi behind Ragmala, the first Uthanaka is at the time when Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji was completing Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Pothi Sahib Ad Granth, where Bhai Gurdas Sahib Ji was the scribe. And at the end, when Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji had recited Mundavani da Shabd, and we say Mundavani can be translated to mean more, or stamp of approval, stamp at the end of the teachings, but also Mundavani can be translated to mean riddle, because within that Shabd there is a riddle. And it's those who read and understand that riddle can understand the hukam. But at the end of that, the rags came to Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji in their form. And they did benti to Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. They said that the rag system is a system where Rags are meant to be played and sung at certain times of the day. But the rags did beinti that anybody and everybody has now started singing the rags at different times. They're singing the rags to, let's say, wrongful words. Words that are going to take us away from Vaheguru. But Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, you have recited, you have brought, you are the fifth form of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. You are the fifth form, you are the fifth king, the fifth form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. And you have recited Gurbani in accordance to Rag. But please, bless us the rags that you have used on every single rag with Kirpa, so we can be used to sing the praises of the Lord and not be used for wrongful songs. And Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji at that point recited Ragamala. So they came and they praised the Lord. They sang the praises of the Lord. Kete gavan hare, just as we read in this pankti. Kete rag pari syo kahiyan. So rag pari syo. So let's take that and we take the pankti from Ragmala. Panch rag sang. Sorry, I've made a mistake there. At the end of Ragmala, we have Khast rag onagaye, sang ragani tis, sabay putar ragan ke 18 10 20. So in Ragmala we are described as 6 rags, masculine. Each of those 6 have, each of those rags have 5 wives. So 6 times 5 is 30, and each of those have 8 children as part of their family. And when you add all that up, you have 84. And so Ragmala, the Mahatma of Ragmala, is to break from the 8.4, the 84, the 84 lakh, 8.4 million life forms. So here Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is telling the Siddhs, Kete rag pari syo kahiyan. So rags, the rags' wives and their children, their family, the family of rags, do sing the praises of the Lord. They sing the praises of the Lord because they've been blessed by Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, and they've been blessed by all the Gurus as Gurbani is recited and supposed to be sung in rag. In Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji themselves, there are 31 rags that have been used. Some of those rags were around before the Guru's times, and some of those rags are new rags that were designed by the Gurus. But in Ragmala itself, there are 84 rags mentioned within the masculine, the feminine, and then the children, the family of rags, which break you free from the 84 lakh June. So Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is saying that even the rags and all their families, their consorts, their children, even they sing the praises of the true Lord.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਤੋਹਨੋ ਪਾਉਣ ਪਾਣੀ ਬੈ ਸੰਤਰ ਗਾਵੈ ਰਾਜਾ ਧਰਮ ਦੁਆਰੇ.
Paun, pani, besantar. Paun means air, pani means water, besantar means fire. Even fire, water and air sing your praises. How do they sing your praises? There's a Sakhi at the time of Indra Devta in the previous ages. Indra Devta is a demigod. Indra is a demigod. He's known as the king of the Devte. And because he's a king of the Devte, he sits on his throne, and all his Devte, all those that do his work that are under him, they reside there and they come to see him. So if we think of that situation and we take the teaching from that situation, so there was a time when Indra Devta was sat on his throne, and around him he was surrounded by every other Devta that do their work. And there was Paun Devta, the Devta for air, Pani Devta, the demigod for water, and Besantar Devta, the demigod for fire. And they were sat in that court with every other Devta that was there. And Indra had quite a lot of ego because he was known as the king of all these Devte. And he would say, because I'm the king, I'm in control of all of these. And no one is bigger than me. And even at points he thought he was God himself. But there's many teachings from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Dasam's Granth Sahib Ji that tell us how Indra's Hankar got the better of him many, many times. And one such time was this. Akal Purkh Vaheguru decided to teach Indra about his ego and try to teach him to remain humble. And Akal Purkh Vaheguru gave themselves a form and sat right opposite Indra on a higher platform. Indra sat on his throne, looked at the form of Vaheguru. He didn't know it was Vaheguru, but he saw the brightness, the prakash, the light of Vaheguru. and he couldn't stare straight at that form. And he thought to himself, what could this form be? Trying to challenge me, sitting on a higher platform than myself, than my throne. And he looked at his Devte, and first he looked at Paun Devta, the Devta for air. And he sent the Devta for air. He said, go speak to that person. Why is he sitting on a higher platform? Tell him to come down. And Paun Devta went over to see who was Akal Purkh Vaheguru in their bright form. And they asked, why are you sitting on a higher platform than Indra, the king of the Devte? I am the Paun Devta. I control air. I can do lots of damage with my power. Move off this higher platform. And Vaheguruji in their form said to Paun Devta, if you have so much power, you can cause so many haneriyan, whirlwinds, then if you have the power to do all that damage, then this blade of grass which is in front of me, if you can do damage to this blade of grass, I will come down off this platform. And Paun Devta caused many whirlwinds to try and move that blade of grass. Now you just imagine a blade of grass laid on the floor. And he did lots of damage, but that blade of grass was unmoved. When it was unmoved, he realized that this form must be a special being. It must be Vaheguru themselves. He bowed down and went back to Indra Devta. But he didn't say anything. He just says, I can't move him. You're going to have to move him yourself. And then Indra Devta looked across to the Pani Devta. And he said, you go and move this form off the platform. And Pani Devta went. The Devta for water went across. And he said to this form, to Akal Purkh Vaheguru, I can cause many floods and damage with my power. Move off this platform, otherwise I'll cause you damage. And Akal Purkh Vaheguru in their form replied, if you can move this blade of grass, I will move myself. I will bow down myself. And Pani Devta, the Devta for water, caused lots of damage and lots of floods, but that blade of grass remained unmoved. And then Pani Devta realized that this must be Akal Purkh Vaheguru themselves. Pani Devta bowed down and went back to Indra. Went back to the king of the Devte, Indra. That's what he's been given, that title. And he didn't tell Indra that this is Vaheguru themselves. He says, I can't move him, you have to move him yourself. And then Indra Devta, the third time, looked at Baisantar Devta. Baisantar meaning the Devta for fire. And he said, he commanded the Devta for fire to go down themselves and remove this form off their platform. Baisantar Devta went down and said, I can cause a lot of damage with my fire. I can burn and damage everything. Volcanoes come from me. And Akal Purkh Vaheguru in their form said, if you can damage this blade of grass, the same blade of grass that Paun Devta and Pani Devta couldn't move, if you can damage this, if you can burn this blade of grass, I will move myself, I will bow down to King Indra Devta myself. And Baisantar Devta, the Devta for fire, tried his utmost, burned everything, but that blade of grass did not burn, it remained unmoved. And Baisantar Devta realized that this must be Akal Purkh Vaheguru themselves, bowed down and came back into the court where he would do his duties. And then he spoke to Indra Devta. Indra Devta, I cannot move him, you must move him yourself. Indra Devta then got up off his throne and decided to go themselves. But Akal Purkh Vaheguru did not want to give their darshan to Indra Devta, and Akal Purkh Vaheguru in that form went alone. They left. And Indra Devta thought to themselves of what happened. And they were told by the three Devte, Paun, Pani, Baisantar, that was Akal Purkh Vaheguru themselves, and Indra had to bow down, not through their darshan, but within their minds, to the power of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, the creator who has created all of us, the 84 lakh June, and also who has created all these Devi Devte to do their work. So, even Devte, Paun, Pani, Baisantar,
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਤਹਨੋ ਪੌਣ ਪਾਣੀ ਬਹਿ ਸੰਤਰ
Even Paun Pani Be Santar Devte, they sing your praises.
ਗਾਵੈ ਰਾਜਾ ਧਰਮ ਦੁਆਰੇ
Raja Taram is Taram Raja. Taram Raja is who, when we die, and if you're still in the cycle of births and deaths, you go to Taram Raja, who takes account of your good and your bad deeds and balances them and weighs them and then sends you into the next life, sends you to the next place. However, if you're a Gursikh living the way of the Guru, then Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji has promised his Gursikhs that they don't see Taram Raja, and even Taram Raja bows down to them. We've heard that in the previous teachings, in the previous Paudiyan. So even Taram Raja, even he sings the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Even he thinks of Akal Purkh Vaheguru when he goes to take somebody to account. He thinks, Akal Purkh Vaheguru, please let me do this honestly and judge this person honestly. Let me take him to account due to his good and bad deeds. Please don't let me have ankar and force anything wrong. So even Taram Raja sings the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਚਿਤ ਗੁਪਤ ਲਿਖ ਜਾਣਹਿ
Chittar and Gopat, as known to be those, they are known to sit on your two shoulders, Chittar and Gopat. And Chittar writes the actions that we do, and Gopat writes the actions that we do in our minds, let's say, or which are Gopat, the actions that we do. And they are written down, and they are the actions that are written down, and they are taken to Taram Raja when those who are in the life cycle of births and deaths, when they are taken into account, even they sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਲਿਖ ਲਿਖ ਧਰਮ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ
Like I just said, likh, they write down the good and bad actions, and Taram Raja then contemplates on those actions before those Jeev who are in the 8.4 million lives are going back and forth. But the Gursikh does not go in that life cycle because the Gursikh has broken from that. The Gursikh has taken Khandidi Pahol from the Panj Pyare. The Gursikh follows the path of spirituality. They listen to the teachings. They believe in the teachings and they follow and act on those teachings, and they become one with the Vaheguru. They don't have to face Dharmaraja. They go directly with Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji's Gursikhs. Guru Sahib Ji comes themselves, or they realize that themselves spiritually because they're already one with the Vaheguru. But even Dharmaraja and Chittar Gupt, they sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਈਸਰ ਬਰਮਾ ਦੇਵੀ
Isar is Shivji, Barma is Brahma, and they are those who do the duties of Shivji does the duty of destroying, and Brahma does the duty of creating. So even they sing the praises. The Devis, the feminine demigods, even they sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਸੋਹਣ ਸਦਾ ਸਵਾਰੇ
Sohan Sada Savare. So they sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Shivji, Brahma, and the Devtiyan, even they sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਸੋਹਣ ਸਦਾ ਸਵਾਰੇ
Sohan Sada Savare. Sohan means the beautiful true Lord, Sada Savare, the true Lord who sorts all our actions out. They sing the praises of the beautiful Lord.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਇੰਦ ਇਦਾਸਨ ਬੈਠੇ
And we just heard about Indra Devta, Idasan, Gavhe Ind Idasan Bethe. Idasan means Singhasan, Singhasan means the throne of a king. Even Indra Devta, we just heard, Indra Devta has to bow down and sing the praises of the true Lord, because he realizes he may be the king of the Devta, or he's been given that duty that he controls, but even he is created and destroyed by Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Even he is doing a duty for Vaheguru, so even he has to bow down and sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਦੇਵਤਿਆ ਦਰ ਨਾਲੇ
Devtaya Dar Nale, the rest of the Devte that are in his command, even they sing the praises.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਸਿੱਧ ਸਮਾਧੀ ਅੰਦਰ
Even you, the Siddhs, Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is telling them, in your samadhis, in your deep concentrations,
ਗਾਵਨ ਸਾਧ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ
and even the Saads who contemplate on the name, even they sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਗਾਵਨ ਜਤੀ ਸਤੀ ਸੰਤੋਖੀ
Jati Sati, those who live truthful lives, those who are content, Santokhi, even they sing the praises.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਵੀਰ ਕਰਾਰੇ
Gavahe Veer Karare, even those warriors sing the praises.
ਗਾਵਨ ਪੰਡਤ ਪੜਨ ਰਖੀਸਰ
Even the Pandits and their students, Padan, Rakhisar, even they sing the praises.
ਜੁਗ ਜੁਗ ਵੇਦਾਂ ਨਾਲੇ
Those who believed in the Veds in the 4 ages Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, and now Kaljug. Even those Pandits, their students, even they sing the praises of the true Lord.
ਗਾਵਹਿ ਮੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਮਨ ਮੋਹਨ
Even the Mohaniya, those who can captivate, they are feminine forms who can captivate people because of their, because people gain more for them. Even they sing the praises.
ਸੁਰਗਾ ਮਛ ਪਿਆਲੇ
Surga Machapayale. Surga means, we've heard before that the creation can be described many times in Bani. We hear Tin Lok, the three layers, or if you will. So Surgalok is like the heavens, Matalok is the world we live in, and Patalok is the nether regions. So in other words, all of creation, everywhere, even the praises are being sung everywhere. Surg, Svargalok, the heavens, Mach, Matalok, where we're living, and Payale, Patalok, the nether regions, everywhere your praises are being sung.
ਗਾਵਨ ਰਤਨ ਉਪਾਏ ਤੇਰੇ 860 ਤੀਰਥ ਨਾਲੇ
Gavan Ratan Upai Tere. Ratan are those. There's a Sakhi from many, from ages, from previous ages, where Joda Ratan were found on this earth. Within the Joda Ratan, those things, valuable objects or objects that were given to this world, Amrita being one, that even negative objects were there, such as Sharab, and they were given out. So the spiritual people, the Devte, went for the Amrit, the Dants, the demons went for the Sharab, and those Joda Ratan was split between the people of that time. Even those Ratans, those objects are singing the praises. Atsat Tirath Nalle, Atsat, the 68 places of pilgrimage where the Hindu faith go to do cleanse themselves by bathing there. Everywhere, in other words, Vaheguru Sahib is saying every bit of Vaheguru's creation in some way, shape or form is singing the praises. Everything that has been created, places of pilgrimage, everywhere, everyone is singing the praises. Whether they are singing the praises for spirituality, whether they're singing the praises because they want something materialistically, everybody has to sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Even those who we say are atheist and they have ego, they think about themselves, even they sing the praises. How do they sing the praises? They sing the praises because they have ego. They think about themselves. But even themselves is a creation of Vaheguru, is something made from Vaheguru. So by singing about themselves, by bigging themselves up, they're in fact singing about the creation of Vaheguru. They are singing about Vaheguru in their small form.
Gavahe Jod Mahabal Sura.
Jod Mahabal Sura. We heard in the last Paudiya about different types of warriors, different types of spiritual warriors and their levels. We heard about Jode, we heard about Rathis, Maharathi and Atrati. And we know the 4 levels of warriors. And physical warriors, if you can defeat somebody one-on-one, you're a Joda. If you can defeat 100 to 1,000 warriors by yourself, you are known as a Rathi. If you can defeat tens of thousands of warriors by yourself, you are known as a Maharathi or a Mahabali or a Mahabal, as in this Pankti. And if you can defeat an infinite number of warriors by yourself, just like Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji has given the Var to the Khalsa, Saba Lakh se ek laraun, Tabe Gobind Singh Naam Kahaun, then you are Atrathi. In this Pankti, Jod meaning Rathi, Mahabal meaning Maharathi, Sura meaning Atrathi. So physically, and we also have heard about spiritual warriors who don't go to bad sangat. That's the first level of a spiritual warrior. The second level, if they end up in a place where it's wrong, they don't use their physical body to do anything wrong, so they control their physical body. Then a Maharathi is somebody who controls their senses. And then an Atarati is who has control over their mind. Manajit, Jagjit, they are control. They are the true spiritual warrior because they are one with the Akal Purkh of Vaheguru.
Gavehe Khani Chare.
Gavehe Khani Chare. The 4 ways of coming to this earth. How does creation come into this earth? There are 4 ways. Andaj, Jeraj, Setaj, Uttabuj. They are known as the 4 Khani. The 4 ways, the Char Khani, the 4 ways of coming to this earth. Andaj. We know there are many beings that come in this world through an egg, like chickens come in an egg, so that is the form of Andaj. Jeraj is the womb, how humans come. Setaj is like sweat, like amoeba and chemicals, they are formed from sweat. And Uttabuj is like plants that are grown, they grow, they're called Uttabuj. So there are 4 ways of coming to this earth. Andaj, Jeraj, Setaj, Uttabuj. And all of creation that come from those 4 ways, in some shape, some way, shape or form, are singing the praise of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
Gavahe Khand Mandal Varpanda.
Khand Mandal Varpanda. Khand meaning the continents, Mandal, this creation, Varpanda, the greater creation, that is all singing the praises. Everywhere the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru is being sung.
Kar kar rakhe tare.
Kar kar rakhe tare. The glories, the great glories of Akal Purkh Vaheguru are being sung in all parts of the world, in all planets, in all universes.
Sei tudno gavahe jo tud pavan.
But only those, say tudno gavahe, only those can sing the praises, jo tud pavan, those who you allow, those Akal Purkh Vaheguru that you allow, that you bless, only they can sing the praises of the true Lord.
Ratte tere bhagat rasale.
Ratte tere bhagat rasale, the true bhagats sing those praises with love, and only through your command can you sing those praises.
Aur kete gavan se main chit na avan.
But Stan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is continuing to tell the saints, Hor kete gavan, many more sing the praises. Se main chit na avan. There are countless se main chit. So it's like I can't think of more. There are many more who sing your praises. I keep thinking, and as I think, more and more are coming to me, that different types of people, different types of creation that sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
Nanak kya vichare.
Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is saying that many of those are singing the praises. How can I contemplate more and more? As I think, more and more coming to my mind, Siddhs that are singing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, that are contemplating on the name of Vaheguru.
Soi soi sada sach sahib.
Soi means oho. Oho, you the true Lord, sada is forever, sacha, the truth, sahib, master.
Sacha sachi nai.
Sacha, sachi, nai. Nai means vadiyai, the glories. Sacha, sachi, nai. Nai can also mean the name. You the true Lord of the true name.
Happy hosi jaye na jasi.
Happy hosi. Ha means now, pi means in the past, hosi means in the future. So in the past, present and future, Jai na jasi, the true Lord who is Jai na jasi, doesn't come and go. In other words, is not born, is not and does not die, does not go in the 8.4 million lives.
Rachana jin rachai.
The true Lord who created this Rachana Jena Rachai, who created all of his creation.
Rangi rangi pati kar kar jinsi.
Jinsi means the creation. Rangi rangi pati kar kar jinsi. This creation that is created, rangi rangi, different colors, different castes, different creeds, different forms, different animals, different worlds.
Maya jin upai.
And in that creation, he created Maya and placed everything in that illusion, which is Maya. This is an illusion that we are working through to break free of, so we can become one with Vaheguru.
Kar kar vekha kita apana.
Kar kar vekha kita apana. Vaheguru ji kar kar vekha. So he creates and he watches over.
Jivatis di vadiyai.
He watches over what he did himself. Jivatis di vadiyai, and he gives the vadiyai to those who are blessed.
Jyotis pave soi karsi.
Jyotis pave, whatever you want, whatever you command, soi karsi, that's what happens.
Hukam na karna jai.
Nobody else's hukam, nobody else's command can be, or Vaheguru cannot come under command. No one else's command can happen, because the only command, the only way is the way of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, the true master.
So pat sahu saha pat sahib.
So pat sahu, he is the true king. Saha pat sahib, he is the king of all the kings. So if Indra Devta thought he was the king of everybody, even Akal Purkh Vaheguru is the king of King Indra. So Vaheguru is the king of all kings. Maharajan ke Maharaja Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru on this earth, Gurbani, Gurshabad, is the king of kings. Maharajan ke Maharaja, he is the king, the master of this universe, the master of all creation.
Nanak rahnan rajai.
And Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is completing the body, completing the Shabad. Nanak ਰਹਿਣ ਰਜਾਈ ਸੋ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੋ ਸਾਹਾ ਪਾਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਨਕ ਰਹਿਣ ਰਜਾਈ ਧੰਨ Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is telling the Sikhs and teaching us that Akal Purkh Vaheguru, ਧੰਨ Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru on this earth, is the king of all kings, and only their way, only their command, only their way works, and through their command we can achieve oneness with Akal Purkh Vaheguru. In translating this shabd, I would have made countless number of mistakes. This is the longest pauri of Sri Japji Sahib, the longest shabd, and it's about those who sing the praises. I pray to Akal Purkh Vaheguru that we can all sing the praises of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, and we can all break free from the 8.4 million lives. I beg for forgiveness in the mistakes that I have made this week, describing one place where I definitely made a mistake, describing the rags in Ragmala. I beg for forgiveness from the Saad sangat. Please, the Saad sangat, bless me with Brahm Gyan so I can deliver these teachings in the correct way and don't make any mistakes. Deho sajjan si sidiyan jo hova sahib syo mel
ਜੋ ਤਿਸ ਭਾਵੈ ਸੋਈ ਕਰਸੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਾਈ ਸੋ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੋ ਸਾਹਾ ਪਾਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਨਕ ਰਹਿਣ ਰਜਾਈ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।